Stearman, and I'm the director of Cowboy Rocketworks. I'm here in the rocket room here at the DML at Oklahoma State University. This is one of 3 rooms that Cowboy Rocketworks works in. In this video, we're going to talk about our Argonia Cup airframe and vehicle, the testing and the test flying that we've done to continue to iterate on our design and improve it, as well as our strategy for going for the win for the Argonia Cup this year, and as well as a lot of the innovations and iterations that we've done and a lot of the new things that we're trying to really eke out more performance out of our airframe. So what I've got in front of me here is several of our testing airframes that we've been testing since November. We started design all the way back in July, kind of basing some stuff off of what we thought the rules were going to look like, and then really just iterating from there once the rules came out. And so we've been designing since the summer. Really started grinding and getting our tube manufacturing process down in the fall, and that concluded with us fully winding our first airframe based off of our initial design, and then test flying that back in November. We did have an in-flight breakup of our sustainer. Our tubes ended up not being as strong as we expected them to be. We did end up losing part of our sustainer because of that. But it's that's why we test, and that's why we did it in November. So we got a lot of interesting data from that, able to really iterate our tube design and ensure we're meeting the strength ratings that we need, but we're not overbuilding our tubes. So we're hitting that perfect line of weight savings versus ensuring we still have the strength that we need. And so through that, we've continued to iterate it, and so that was our first airframe here back in November. And then in the spring, we built this airframe here in January, tested it in February, just kind of as a full system recovery test, making sure everything's working as expected, and making sure that everything we want to work and the new stuff that we're trying with our recovery systems is working properly, and then ensuring that we can find it as well with high altitude tracking and that kind of being one of the biggest challenges this year with the altitudes that we're flying to. And so this airframe was made half from our in-house filament line carbon fiber, our increased thickness after the first airframe, and then our booster section was made from a COTS fiberglass just to kind of save some time and some funds, since it wasn't needing to be perfectly accurate to the performance that we were expecting, rather just an overall test airframe. As you can see, we've also iterated, going from a 4-fin design down to a 3-fin design, just working toward optimizing the shape, size, and ensuring we have good stability, making sure that we come off the rail straight, but also making sure that we maintain that nice, perfect vertical flight after staging, so we have a good chance of lighting our sustainer, and then just continuing to optimize from there. So now we're in the current phase where we're building our full-scale airframes. I'm not going to show those here, but they're well into production, and we'll be bringing 2 of them plus our spare airframe to the Cup this year, just ensuring we have that redundancy and really planning on going for the win this year. We've also developed our own flyaway rail guides to meet the 1515 flyaway requirement, or rail button requirement, and so basically just a modified design of the existing ones, but we've tested those and those worked well. And now we're working on scaling those up and manufacturing those more quickly as well. But overall, we put a lot of work into this year. My team and I have spent hundreds of hours working on this design, this airframe. We probably have 50 different versions of the rocket now easily as we continue to iterate and make improvements. And even now, we're still finding areas that we can gain more performance and continue to push that boundary without breaking that 40,000-foot barrier. Now ensuring that we're going to successfully recover as well. That being probably the biggest challenge this year with the extreme altitude. So I'm very, very proud of our team and just how much effort we put in here. A lot of late nights already and a lot of time that's gone into this, but we've had a lot of great success so far, and we're going to continue pushing, and we're really hoping for a lot of great success this year at the Argonia Cup.
My name is Paxton Bradford. I'm a junior in mechanical and aerospace engineering, and I'm the chief engineer of Cowboy Rocketworks. Today I'm going to talk about the recovery and inner stage of our rocket for the Argonia Cup. So for our recovery, we're falling at less than the required ground impact velocity, even if our sustainer doesn't light, so we have a good factor of safety there. We expanded our payload bay to accommodate space for our golf balls, which we realized was a tight fit in our original design with our Pathfinder vehicle. We're flying ultra compact chutes to maximize our packing efficiency in the parachute bay, because as with the payload bay, for the golf balls. It was a tight fit for our first test vehicle that we tested back in November. For our staging lockout, I'll kind of go through what we decided on for that. We're flying a to roughly 30 feet. Our light, no light parameters are well within the rules. For our sustainer, we will be lighting only if we're flying faster than 400 feet per second, which is much quicker than the required 200 feet per second per the rules. For our angle of attack, we have our rocket locking out at an angle of attack greater than 15 degrees rather than 20 that the rules state. We felt that beyond 15 degrees, we would be at an increased risk of lateral loading, snapping our airframe due to increased loading at those higher angles. Going hand in hand with that, the higher your angle of attack, the further the rocket is going to land from the launch rail, making recovery increasingly more challenging as well. While it would be more difficult to meet the tighter lockout conditions, it's better to not light the sustainer than to lose the airframe altogether due to in-flight failure or unsuccessful recovery of efforts of the rocket.
So my name is Joshua Hall. I am currently a senior pursuing mechanical and aerospace engineering degrees, and I'm the structure sub-team lead for Cowboy Rocketworks here. So the structure sub-team for Argonia Cup has had the very exciting job of finally bringing all of the great design ideas together and building the final completed product. We'll make a lot of the material design decisions when it comes to what kind of composite materials we're using, and then we get to build it. So behind me here is our filament winder machine, the X-winder, which we use to create our airframe and coupler tubes for the rocket. And so obviously working with composites, especially when you're coming to sand and cut, as you need to do quite a bit for building a rocket. There's a lot of safety constraints there, and so one of the big challenges this year when we're making our own airframe tubes from carbon fiber has been working around those.
Hi, my name is Lauren Stearman. I am a sophomore in aerospace engineering. I am also the junior structures lead for Cowboy Rocketworks and part of the Argonia Cup team. So as a junior structures lead, my job is to research different wind angles and patterns and manufacturing methods for the tubes. After probably about 5 to 10 tubes wound, many crush tests later, we finally came up with a 3-layer configuration that we've used for the tubes, and I've spent many an hour winding our sustainer, booster, the couplers. My other job is to then do post-processing and tube removal by bringing it down to the oven, using heat shrink tape around it, and then using dry ice to shrink the aluminum mandrels we wound on and pull our tube off, which is what I was doing 5 minutes ago, and is much more enjoyable in 70-degree weather than it is in 20-degree weather.
Hello, my name is Kylie Fisher. I am a sophomore studying mechanical and aerospace engineering, and I am the logistics team lead. For the Argonia Cup, it's kind of an all hands on deck and everyone works. Some key features I have played a part in is just day-to-day build. I have sanded a lot of fins, which is always a joy. And then I have helped with internal wiring. I've helped with bulkheads, figuring out shock cord problems. As also being logistics lead, my job is to make sure the rocket is together head to toe. Everything is where it needs to be. I'm on top of everything that needs to be shown. Part of the logistics is also making sure we follow our safety guidelines that we have set as a team for ourselves to make sure everyone is safe while building and out on the range.
Hi, my name is Tyler Graham. I'm an electrical engineering master's student here at Oklahoma State University, and I'm also the avionics captain for Cowboy Rocketworks. And what that means is that I get to play with all of our flight computers that are responsible for getting us up there, and then also deploying our chutes, measuring our altitude, our velocity, all that good stuff that we care about in rocket flights. So for the Argonia Cup, we're designing a 2-stage rocket, which means that we're going to have a booster bay and as well as a sustainer bay that we have to worry about on the avionics side. The booster bay is going to ignite a separation charge once you get to a certain velocity and altitude, and then the sustainer is just responsible for igniting the second motor as well as our chutes to get us down safely once we get to our final altitude. Some challenges in this, we're working with 2 avionics bays, which we have to work basically twice as much as a normal rocket. We have to fit things in a 54mm diameter, which is very small. So here, this is going to be part of our nose cone. This is going to be one of our ab bays that we have to fit inside there. It's a very tight space to work with, so it's always a bit of a challenge, but luckily my team's done a great job designing for this, and I'm feeling pretty good about our chances this year.
And for our contest sustainer motor, we're going to be flying it's a very nice motor too. It's going to be a very, very nice second stage. Now, for our booster motor, we're going to be flying this very, very nice right here. And that'll mesh up very, very well with our sustainer motor, as you will see.
I want to put a big thank you out to all of our sponsors for all their really helpful support this year, helping us continue to both develop our in-house technologies as well as helping us with funding and resources and travel. We definitely we would not be able to be where we are today without them, and I want to take some time to just really express our gratitude and our appreciation to them. Pretty much one of our biggest sponsors is the Zinc Center for Competitive Innovation, and we just want to be very appreciative of the time and the resources they've had there, especially our competition hub manager Ray and his support of our team. Also want to put a big thank you to OAIR, the Oklahoma Aerospace Institute for Research and Education, and their continued support of the Rocket Club, and our advisor, Dr. James Jacob. Also want to put a big thank you out to the Oklahoma Space Grant Consortium and the funding that they've been able to provide to us toward our filament winding and our manual production. And then another big thank you to Notion as our project management software and Onshape as our CAD software. We're very thankful for their sponsorships as well. And as well as to DCOMP for their continued support, both with materials as well as helping us get the resources that we need to continue our development of our airframes. All the composites work we do really wouldn't be possible without them, so we are very appreciative of all of them. I also want to thank all of our supporters and our members and their continued passion and support of the club and of our mission. We wouldn't be able to do what we do today without all of the wonderful undergrad and grad students that we have that help us do our project and help us iterate and do a lot of sanding sometimes, but basically they put a lot of really great work in, and I just want to put a big thank you out to them as well. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you at the Argonia Cup.